I'll get straight to the point and probably piss off a lot of fans, but I always hated the hero mode in Splatoon 2. It felt like it was more of a stretched out tutorial for different weapons than an actual story that we had to follow for the premise of being a story. The two Squid sisters started bitching over a fight that happened in the previous game, and now we need to find Callie. And that's it. Literally no level has any importance or adds something to this story. You literally just make your way toward finding Callie whilst using different kinds of weapons. You just play through a lengthy and stretched out tutorial that's basically unnecessary. All the level designs were kind of meh to me. The music was decent but not great, and the real downside was the fact that if I wanted all hero type weapons, which are pretty decent, I had to replay this boring shit for 9 times. The story modes in the Splatoon games, both 1 and 2, already felt like a glorified tutorial, and that wasn't truly necessary. They could actually make a good story with it, and we'll get to that later. I know you can get a lot of lore from reading the scripts or scrolls, but since these are collectibles and not part of the actual story being told directly, it feels like they clearly didn't matter, and the developers said, sure, just throw them in for anyone that wants to read it, but if it was truly important, they should have told us straight away. Where Splatoon 2 really shined though was the expansion, but that wasn't part of the game itself. The Octo Expansion might be one of the best DLCs that I've ever seen in a Nintendo game. Not only did we get a couple of new looks, but we also got an actual side story, which was really good. Now, I'm not saying that the entire plot was great, but it was pretty fun. The story wasn't too immersive or anything, but the challenges were good. The Octo Expansion really showed what Nintendo can do with a great soundtrack, exciting gameplay and great level design. Every bit of the Deep Sea Metro looks, plays and just feels amazing. The vacation our Captain and Agent 3 went on might not have been so great for the story, but for us players it worked out perfectly. This world was more immersive and gave us more of a challenge than the Splatoon 2 hero mode in the first place did. The expansion is something that all Splatoon 2 players need to get or probably already have. It's just a must-have for anyone that plays this game, and that's something I wish happens with the story of Splatoon 3. A mode that players just need to play and not only have to play for a tutorial. It happens too often that a multiplayer focused game gets a shitty story, and that's something that I don't want for the next Splatoon installment. Sure, it's fine and it's even good to have a tutorial for different weapons and specials, but please separate this from an actual story being told itself. If you need to force me to learn something, it's probably less fun than when I actually learn it myself. Take a look at Breath of the Wild, which doesn't teach you anything. Make it whenever you buy a new weapon or a new kind of weapon that it gives you the option to follow the tutorial. We already have a weapons range, so a few tweaks here and there might actually be a great solution for this. I would love to see a story or solo mode with the difficulty and the design especially that the Octo Expansion has. Because not only does it feel like a good single player, it actually has the story, the challenge and the depth of being a standalone game. If they knew how to make that work, they can make any story work. So all they need to do is just inject the stuff that was great about Octo Expansion into a story mode about the fuzzballs and make it great. If they do this, it will be better than any other Splatoon game, and let's be real, the bar isn't all too high. And don't get me wrong here, I do think a simple, accessible and easy story mode can be useful for new players. However, it shouldn't hinder the experience that returning players can get in any way. That's why many games have a difficulty option, right? To make sure that we get the right experience for ourselves. One may play it on very hard, the other may play it on easy. That's what those are for. Make that, or just give us a tutorial separated from the story. The hero mode in Splatoon 3 already looked kind of fun, a bit more open worldish and a bit more exploration based, but since we haven't seen anything yet, I am unsure of what the premise might be this time or what we can even expect from it. I just hope it's a better one than the previous entries and adds more of a challenge and even has more unique features than Splatoon 1 and 2. For now we just have to wait and hope that Nintendo fuses the experience from Octo Expansion into a hero mode that will be in the base game day one. Until that point happens, we just have to wait. Let me know what your hopes are from the hero mode in Splatoon 3 in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions, what might or what has to happen for this new mode, let me know and I'll see you next time, mate. Take care.